Recently, OPEC shocked the world with a specific decision to limit themselves to only 2 million barrels of oil production per day. But why? OPEC, or the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, is made up of nations that specialize in exporting oil. OPEC has had a huge influence on global oil prices since its inception in 1960. By limiting production to 2 million barrels per day, OPEC is hoping to maintain a balance between supply and demand in order to keep oil prices steady. With the recent interest of Saudi Arabia in joining the BRICS Alliance and OPEC's decision to limit production, OPEC has made it clear that they are still a major player in the global oil market. There are also rumors of a global reserve currency or BRICS currency with a prime aim of dethroning the United States dollar as the world's currency. This move comes swiftly with the cooperation of America's longtime rivals and a bearer of uncounted sanctions from the West, Russia and China. But what's the threat to the West in all this? Let's dive into that. Hello and welcome to Businessville. Before we start this video, make sure you subscribe to Businessville for more videos like this and share this video. When the West imposed sanctions on Russia, they thought that it'd break the backbone of the Russian economy and force them to its knees. In order to fight back against the West, Russia asserted its dominance by limiting the gas or energy supplies to Europe. Between all this tug of war, the West took a step ahead and imposed a cap on Russian oil. Major economies like the US, Japan, and others placed a cap on Russian oil to be not more than $60 per barrel of oil. This decision was thought by the West to be the final nail in the coffin. But Russia had one more trick up its sleeve. An emerging superpower, well, it's not a nation, but it certainly holds a power of a global superpower. OPEC Plus, a group of OPEC and non-OPEC oil-producing nations including Russia, took a decision to limit their overall production by 2 million barrels of oil per day, which is about only 2% of the world's demand. This decision took the West by storm. The West had a premonition that they could control the entire world economy on their own, and being Saudi Arabia, the leader of the OPEC, as America's one of the prominent allies, they were certain that no one could challenge the hypocrisy cartel of the Western economies. This decision by OPEC Plus led to a cascade of various big events happening around the global economy. As soon as this decision came out, the West responded, as always, with some harsh words by President Joe Biden's quote, "There will be consequences." Saudi relies or perhaps relied on the US for their security, and in return, Saudi agreed to sell the oil only in US dollars. In order to buy oil, which every country needs, they have to maintain a reserve of US dollars so they can pay for the oil. This cooperation is the prime reason for the asserted dominance of the dollar, or, specifically, the petrodollar in the global market. But the recent ticking of the US to apply the NOPEC bill has pushed Saudis to think of some alternatives. NOPEC bill stands for No Oil Producing and Exporting Cartels Act, which basically nullifies OPEC's cooperation with the US and also brings OPEC under US legal jurisdiction. This NOPEC bill was announced to put OPEC in a tight corner by limiting OPEC's decision-making power, but OPEC is still fighting back through such steps as limited production. This step has increased the global demand for OPEC, and OPEC wants to control the prices of their own oil so that they can fully benefit from it rather than just letting other nations benefit from it. But can the NOPEC bill actually do anything in front of a newly formed superpower of oil leaders? Well, we'll definitely answer this question in another video. For now, let's look at one more key detail. As soon as the US threatened the Saudis that they could use the NOPEC bill, and considering Saudi's security was believed to be the US, Saudi is now planning to join the BRICS Alliance in order to seek protection and also to overthrow the West. Saudi Arabia joining the BRICS can literally change the global geopolitical picture, as the oil will be controlled by the BRICS and OPEC Plus, not the West. This supposed decision has sent chills down the Western economies, and to hit the final swing, Russia and China are also working on a reserve currency, also known as BRICS Currency. The new currency will be based on a basket of the currencies of the five-nation bloc: the Chinese yuan, the Russian ruble, the Indian rupee, the Brazilian real, and the South African rand. This decision is big, so big that it has the power to dethrone the US and limit the West to its cages. Saudi Arabia's cooperation with Russia and China for their military cooperation and ballistics technology indicates that this move by Saudi was present in the cards for quite some time. What do you think will happen if the new world currency emerges, and how can it impact the world? Let us know in the comments and keep watching the Business Phil.